520 of the Soul Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. Let's get right into it. It's Joe Rogan, Tim Dillion, and they're talking about politics. They're talking about who's going to run. They're talking about who should never run again, Joe Biden. And and they're just going into politics and about, you know, what's going to be coming up and who should be running. And then they touch on Michelle Obama, and then they get into that. It's a very interesting clip, very funny clip. Tim Dillion just goes too far in this one, but it's a funny one. Before I bring you over there, I got to bring you to the store. This is IamCoachColin.com. We got the Public Enemy #1 shirt. This gentleman right here. If you don't know about him, just Google "you will own nothing and be happy," and you will quickly agree with the statement that's on this shirt. We also have the Certified Pure Blood shirt for those of you that survived the pandemic and remain unscathed. We also have the Great Reset shirt, and we X out the reset, and we put on the bottom resist. Because it's better to join the Great Resist than it is to join the Great Reset. Look that up if you don't know about it as well. And we have the infamous, the glorious, actually, Soul Not For Sale shirt. All of that can be found at IamCoachColin.com. And if you want 10% off, here you go. This is all you got to do. Put in the discount code IamCoachColin. That will get you 10% off. Now, remember when you put this in, because some people have a little trouble with this. It's all capital letters, all one word, and there's one L in the name Colin. Don't let autocorrect get you. And that'll get you 10% off. And if you've already done that with our store, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are much appreciated. Now let's get into this clip.
And Dillion had already interviewed Biden before that.
Yeah, they want to be. She wanted to.
How does that happen?
They say.
How wild is that?
They say we had an effeminate gay man who didn't make it doing that. Now she's a chick. And she wants to interview Biden, and the Biden goes, ugh, and they go, good, it's coming. And then they just do an interview. Biden doesn't know where he is or what's happening. No, he's just hanging on. It's the least fun way to be president. To be the most powerful person in the world and not know has got to suck a little.
It's perfect.
The best thing ever was when they go, the Biden family over in Nantucket in the holidays, they went to their Nantucket home and discussed whether Joe should run again, and they all said he should. And I'm like,
is that recent?
Yeah, they had a meeting over the holidays where they're like, we're assessing.
July 4th holidays?
No, this was during the holidays. And they were like, the Biden family had this meeting, Jamie could look it up. Where they were
during
like,
December.
Yeah, where they were like, we're going to see if he's going to run again. And Jill and Hunter and the rest of the crew met, and they decided it's a great idea for him to run again. And I'm like, it's crazy sending a guy that old into battle again. And I don't, so...
There was some article, Jamie, about the accusations of how much money they received. It was like some new one came out today. They were trying to figure out how much money the Biden family received during this whole Hunter Biden scandal thing.
Right. Well, it's a big scandal. People are going like, well, his son's an addict and he stood by his son. Number one, don't stand by it. Like if a laptop came out where I had done what Hunter Biden was doing, my family would tell people I was dead. Like, yeah, and they're not even the president. My dad sells wine, and he wouldn't admit. Like, there is a time you cannot support your kids. By the way, what are we talking about? People are like, well, he's a good father. It's like, is he? Was he?
Do you think it was his coke at the White House?
Whose coke is it outside? It's definitely his coke. But I don't like narcs and rats, so I think he should be he can have a blast.
Yeah, what's the big deal? You're at your fucking dad's house.
If your father's a president, you can't have a blast? You can't do a little bump?
Comer releases the third bank memo detailing payments to the Bidens from Russia, Kazakhstan, and Ukraine. What's the number? 20 million. They now have the committee has now identified over 20 million in payments from foreign sources to the Biden family and their business associates.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, you don't stay in. There's no way that they looked at him and went, he should be the president unless they knew for a fact that he's controlled and being managed.
Yeah, this is all.
There's just no way he's
so wild.
They want a guy he's been a company man forever. He started his career letting people in Delaware, like these credit card companies do whatever the fuck they wanted. And he had that, the architect of the crime bill where they sent a lot of nonviolent drug offenders. But he's a company man. Like, he's a guy.
Yeah.
Joe Biden's been a guy. It's why Obama had him as vice president. He was never like an articulate guy. He was never that great at it. He was just a guy that he's a solid Washington insider forever. And that's what he is. And now he's old, but that's what he is. A guy that's just been in the system for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's what he is.
Him running again in one more year from now.
There's no way.
How?
Newsom is coming up and trying to run. There are other people that are circling. I don't think he runs again. I can't see it. I don't see it.
How do you think they get Kamala Harris to step down? Because she's rightfully, if he steps down, until
Kamala Harris cannot say a sentence. She's almost worse than him. She talks in like gypsy curses. When they ask her something, she'll be like, "My grandma said that a hive of bees is still bees if you bury it," and you're like, "What the fuck is this bitch saying?"
gypsy curses.
That's how she speaks. The woman has no idea what's going on. But again, Washington inside, they're just like, "You were a DA, you were a cop, you'll keep your mouth shut. Don't you want to be the first, whatever race you're pretending to be, president today, Indian, black, whatever works?" And she goes, yeah. But they got to get rid of her. What they should have done, if they wanted to win, George Soros should have backed up the money truck to Michelle Obama and said, "Listen, you are going to run because people like you. They like you. It doesn't matter, about any of the conspiracies. Maybe you are Big Mike. Who cares?
What?
But you are going to run this goddamn country.
I can't believe you went there.
You're going to run this goddamn country."
That is the wackiest conspiracy.
It's a
currently
wacky
available.
conspiracy. Can I make one point for the people that are on the side of it?
Yes.
It is weird, but I don't think she's Big Mike.
Okay.
It is weird that there's not one photo of her pregnant, but maybe there is. Is that not weird? Maybe it's not weird. I don't know.
She's a public person. Why would you want photos of her pregnant out there?
I understand that, but maybe it is weird. Maybe it's not weird.
Well, also, when she had her kids, were they private or public? Like, when he was a senator?
I don't know. I just know that
he was a senator, right?
Yes,
Before he became president.
for sure.
So what, law school, Senate?
I have no issue because I want to live. I have no issue with Big Mike. I don't care that they killed that sex slave in Martha's Vineyard. That's what happens to sex slaves. They drown in ponds. That's what happens. You fuck the ruling class, you drown a pond. That's what happens. If you get your little mouthy, you go into the pond. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's good. I actually think it's good. I think it makes our country fun. I think it makes us unique. I think Putin and them are scared of that shit.
They do it all the time.
I think Putin and the Chinese are like, you don't know what's going on there because they got people that maybe they're men, maybe they're women, we don't know. I think if it's not real, make it real. Put it out. Would it be anything better than her at the DNC, whip her cock out and going, and I'm Big Mike? The Chinese would lose their mind. The Chinese would give up. They would give up. If Michelle Obama took her cock out at the Democratic National Convention, the Chinese would go throw.
The clip's done. What? Oh, what's he talking about? Oh my God. I didn't listen to the whole clip. Oh my God, the clip's done. Tim Dillon, ladies and gentlemen. Holy jeez. Oh God. All right. Let's do a little. All right, let me get right to it. I don't condone what the gentleman's saying. And I'm actually serious. I kind of don't. You know why? Because when people bring up that theory, right? I come from a world where my mom was a bodybuilder, right? And she was jacked. I'm talking about she was jacked. So when people talk about her back, if you saw my mom in the early 90s, she was jacked. She competed as a bodybuilder. It's not like she just worked out a lot. She competed and won. So I've seen how crazy, and I'm talking about my mom never won past second place. She never got first place because first place was always some woman who was on roids, and you should see how these women would look. It was crazy how these women would look. It was nuts. It made no sense. So I've seen the extent of like what a woman's body can actually change into. So for me, it's just like, I don't know. And then on top of that, it's like, you're never going to see pictures of my wife pregnant. Never. It's never going to happen. I don't want them out there. You're not going to see it. You know what I mean? You've never seen pictures of Joe Rogan's wife pregnant. I've never seen pictures of Will Smith's wife pregnant. I've never seen pictures of George Bush's wife pregnant. I've never seen pictures of Hillary Clinton pregnant. I've never seen pictures of so many women pregnant. You know what I mean? So I don't really think that's that weird. Women aren't, unless they're taking those birth pictures, those belly pictures, they don't really want that out there. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's that weird. And then on top of that, I feel for the guy. Obama. People saying that about your wife, it's just like, that sucks. It sucks. It's a damn funny clip, I gotta admit. But at the same time, like I see the other side of it. When people try to bring me that notion, I'm just like, nah, I don't know about that. It's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's like I get the other side a lot, especially having a black mom who is just huge. I'm talking huge, bro. Like, you guys can't tell. You guys can't tell because I'm 270 pounds. Like, my mom, I take after my mom. She's just jacked. It was crazy. Tim Dillion. Wow. Just going all the way. Just to bring up George Soros and that in the same clip. He's breaking ground on Joe Rogan. Eddie Bravo hasn't even gone that far. Alex Jones hasn't even gone that far. Wow. Again, check out Tim Dillion. He has a podcast called The Tim Dillion Show. It's hilarious. What do you guys think about Joe Biden running again? I don't think it's going to happen. Kamala Harris does speak in gypsy curses. That's a hilarious line. That's so true. So true. And like black and or Jamaican and Indian. I have Jamaican roots. A lot of people who are Indian can also be Jamaican. So you can call yourself Indian Jamaican and actually not be black. A lot of people don't realize that. You can be white Jamaican and not have an ounce of black in you. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's very interesting. I see Gavin Newsom. I think the worst thing they could do, which they might do, is like Gavin Newsom Harris, like Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, and have them like together as like a team, like president, vice president. I think it'd be terrible. I think if they both run individually, it'll be great because it'll take votes away from whoever like the top Democratic running person is, because that's all they're going to be. And if she does have to step in because, God forbid, Biden, something happens to him, stroke, something, I think that's a bad place to be in, because if you think Biden's not making his own decisions, you better believe she's not making her own decisions. It's a very weird place to be in. I mean, honestly, there's a reason why a lot of the country, and it's way more than anybody on the left would like to think. The reason that they're saying Trump is like the last hope is because look at what might happen. Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama, which it's like, no shade to Michelle Obama, but that will just be Obama running again. And in some people's eyes, it would be like giving Obama a fourth term. There's a lot of speculation about blah, blah, blah. But look at that. On the other side, it's like you can have Donald Trump again. I think that Trump's and as I bring up all those people, RFK is not even in the conversation. It'd be a dark time for America if Trump doesn't win again. And again, everybody who watches this channel knows I love RFK, love RFK Jr. He's incredible, but it seems like now, as things are going, and Trump's even made it clear, he's even said out loud, he's like, I'm gonna watch the debates and I might pick my vice president. Which I think his vice president, I would love to see it be RFK, but I think it's gonna be Vivek, and I think that's actually a great duo. Trump, as unpolished as he is, and really going hard because he's getting in again and it's his last 4 years he's going to be able to do it. He's really going to implement some change, and then have someone like Vivek behind him doing the type of things that a vice president does in terms of meeting with other world leaders. That's a perfect person to have beside you. It's like, you may not like me, You may not like Trump, but you're going to love Vivek. They can go all over the world with that. He's of Indian descent. You know what I mean? He can go over to India. He can parlay with China. He can even sit in front of Putin. Like, Vivek can speak in front of anybody. And they're both billionaires. And they're both insanely business minded. I think that would be, again, I love RFK, but Trump and Vivek, I think that would be incredible. And then Trump leaves, passes the torch on to Vivek. I think that would be really, really good for America, because I think both men have the Constitution in mind when they operate, and even more importantly, arguably more importantly, they have the people in mind when they operate. So I think that would be a great team. And I think that's what's going to happen, because Vivek has already, I think he was tied with DeSantis, and I think he's about overtaking DeSantis right now, because he's saying all the right things, and he's not afraid to do podcasts. He's not afraid to do town halls. He's not afraid to have random questions thrown at him, and he's willing to stand on what he says. Whereas DeSantis kind of, there's a little bit of double speak with DeSantis. Seems like he seems a little controlled. I'm just going to say it. He seems a bit controlled. I didn't want to give in to the whole Trojan horse thing, but kind of seems that way. Vivek, on the other hand, does not seem that way. Guy's thrown $15 million of his own money, and the only other person that was doing that before Vivek was Trump, right? And we all know Trump lost a lot of his own money going at this whole thing and fighting for America. So, yeah, I think that'll be the team, because, when I bring up those two names, and then you think of Gavin Newsom, no chance, and then you think of Kamala Harris, it's just, they got nothing. And then you bring back Joe Biden. So many people, and people on the left don't want to say it, but they've lost faith in Biden. They're not, as much as everybody wants to have this mindset of whoever is on the other side of what I'm on is dumb, people on the left aren't dumb. They see the clips. They can hear him talk, They understand. They may not look at him like, oh, he's a terrible president, but they at least have the mental fortitude to go, that person seems too old to handle this position. They have that at least. It's just that they're not going to say it openly, because the left likes to eat their own. So, yeah. Again, like the video if you haven't liked the video. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Check out the podcast. It's Tim Dillion and Joe Rogan. It's episode 2019. So dyslexic. Sorry about that. Episode 2019. It's a great episode. And check out any past episodes that Tim's been on, because they're all hilarious. And other than that, I'm out. And let me know what you think. Who do you think's going to run? I know Tucker's in the conversation 2028, but who do you think for right now, president, vice president, what do you think's going to happen with all this? Joe runs again? I don't know. We'll see. Other than that, I am out.